Engines usually do not fail overnight. They get worn down by long intervals, lifetime fluid lies, cheap filters, cold revving, overheating, and owners who ignore small warnings until the bill gets brutal. Today we are covering 17 engine-saving hacks old mechanics actually respect. Do these, and your engine has a real shot at outliving the car around it. Number 17. Stop trusting lifetime fluid. Lifetime fluid is one of the biggest marketing tricks ever sold to drivers, and I hate it because it sounds smart while quietly costing people engines, transmissions, and differentials. When a manual says lifetime, ask whose lifetime? The first owner? The warranty period? The corporate spreadsheet that makes cost of ownership look cheaper on paper? Fluid is not magic. If it carries heat, pressure, metal dust, friction material, fuel dilution, or corrosion, it gets tired. Engine oil oxidizes. Transmission fluid burns and shears. Coolant loses protection. Differential oil gets loaded with metal. Power steering fluid cooks. Manufacturers are not always lying, but they are often writing for average ownership, not the guy trying to keep a car for 15 years and 300,000 miles. If you tow, idle in traffic, take short trips, live in brutal heat, start cold every morning, or drive dusty roads, you are severe service whether the brochure admits it or not. Follow the hard schedule, not the lazy one. The machine will thank you. And the first fluid that decides whether your engine lives or dies is the one people stretch way too far. If this straight engine talk helps you, subscribe. We are building a channel for people who want reliable cars, not repair bills. Number 16. Change oil before it gets ugly. Oil is cheap, engines are not. And that is the whole lesson right there. I have opened valve covers where the owner proudly said the car followed the dashboard reminder, and inside it looked like barbecue sauce and gravel. Do not wait until oil smells burnt, looks chunky, or runs thin like dirty water. By then, the additives are tired, the detergent package is used up, and the bearings have been living on borrowed time. For long life ownership, a 5,000-mile oil change with quality synthetic is a strong starting point for many cars, especially older engines, turbo engines, direct injection engines, short-trip cars, and high-mileage commuters. If your exact car calls for something different, respect the spec, but do not stretch intervals just to save one oil change per year. That is fake savings. Oil also removes heat, carries dirt to the filter, and protects timing chains, cam phasers, turbo bearings, and piston rings. Skip it, and sludge starts building a coffin. But changing oil is only half the job. The wrong oil can still hurt the engine. Number 15. Use the correct oil, not the fanciest oil. Do not outsmart the engineers with a shiny bottle you found on sale. Correct oil matters more than fancy label talk. The wrong viscosity can mess with variable valve timing, cold start flow, oil pressure, chain tensioners, hydraulic lifters, and turbo lubrication. Thick oil is not always stronger. Thin oil is not always weaker. Premium does not mean anything if it does not meet the actual spec your engine needs. Look at the oil cap, owner's manual, and manufacturer approval. Then use a quality filter that does not collapse, bypass too early, or leave junk in circulation. I would rather see the right mid-priced oil changed on time than exotic oil run forever by a guy who thinks price replaces maintenance. Keep a notebook or phone record with date, mileage, oil type, and filter brand. That little habit saves confusion later. And do not mix random oil weights because a buddy said thicker oil quiets noise. Sometimes it only hides a problem while starving cold parts. Now let's talk about the thing most owners never check until the engine is already angry. Number 14. Check oil level. Every other fuel fill-up. A low oil engine does not care that you changed it last month. Fresh oil at the half level is still a problem. Engines burn oil, leak oil, push oil through bad seals, lose it through PCV issues, or consume it when rings are tired. I have seen engines destroyed because the owner thought oil changes meant the level stayed perfect until the next sticker. No, the dipstick is there for a reason. Check it every other fuel fill-up, or every couple of weeks if you barely drive. Park level, shut it off, wait a few minutes, pull the dipstick, wipe it, check again, and read the level with your own eyes. Smell it too. Fuel smell, burnt smell, glitter, or foam tells a story. An oil light is not a friendly reminder. On many cars, it is a last warning that the pressure is already gone. Bearings do not forgive that. Keep 1 quart of the correct oil in the trunk, not random gas station soup. The correct oil. Oil level saves bearings, but driving style decides how much abuse that oil has to survive. Number 13. Warm it by driving. Gently, not idling forever. Letting it idle for 20 minutes is not old school wisdom. Most of the time, it is fuel waste and extra carbon. The better habit is simple. Start the engine, give it a short moment to stabilize, then drive gently until the temperature comes up. Light load warms the engine, transmission, differential, wheel bearings, and fluids more evenly than sitting in the driveway, while the exhaust stinks up the neighborhood. I am not saying fire it up and floor it. That is stupid. I am saying do not sit there forever thinking you are helping. For the first few miles, use gentle throttle, keep RPM modest, and avoid towing hard, climbing hills wide open, or doing a full throttle freeway merge. In cold weather, be even more patient. Cold oil is thick, clearances are different, and fuel enrichment can wash cylinder walls. The goal is gradual heat, not shock. A warmed engine is a happy engine, and that leads straight into the cold engine mistake that destroys engines quietly. Number 12. Never beat a cold engine. Cold revving is abuse with a steering wheel. I do not care how good the engine sounds. When it is cold, the oil is thicker, the metal parts have not expanded to their operating clearances, and the pistons, rings, bearings, and timing parts are not ready for hard work. The coolant gauge can fool you too. Coolant warms faster than oil, so the needle may look normal while the oil is still not ready. On turbo engines, this is even more important because boost loads the bearings, rings, and turboshaft fast. Do not hammer the throttle, bounce the RPM, climb a hill hard, or tow heavy right after startup. Drive gently until the coolant is warm, then give the oil a few more minutes. If you would not sprint on a frozen knee, do not ask a cold engine to sprint either. Respect the first 10 minutes and the engine will usually repay you with longer life. Heat kills engines too, and the cooling system is where cheap owners make expensive mistakes. Number 11. Keep the cooling system ruthless. Overheating once can age an engine 10 years in 10 minutes. That is not drama, that is shop reality. A weak cooling system can warp heads, cook gaskets, harden seals, crack plastic tanks, and turn a perfectly good engine into a paperweight. Coolant is not just colored water. It raises the boiling point, lowers the freezing point, fights corrosion, and protects aluminum, steel, rubber, and gaskets. Use the correct coolant, not whatever jug was closest to the checkout. Check the level, color, smell, radiator cap, hoses, thermostat, fans, water pump, heater output, and any crusty stains around seams. If the heater goes cold while the gauge rises, pull over. If the fan never kicks on in traffic, fix it. If the reservoir keeps dropping, find the leak. Do not just keep topping it off like you are feeding a pet. Replace coolant on schedule and fix seepage early. Coolant handles heat, air handles breathing. Choke the air and the engine works harder for no reason. Number 10. Replace air filters before they choke the engine. A dirty air filter is not a badge of toughness. It is a dirty rag over your engine's mouth. Engines need clean air to make clean power, and when a filter is packed with dust, leaves, road grit, wildfire ash, or farm dirt, the engine has to pull through a restriction. On modern cars, the computer can adjust fuel, but that does not mean you should ignore a filthy filter. It hurts the response, can expose intake leaks, and makes everything work in a dirtier environment. Use a quality paper filter unless you truly know what you are doing. Oiled aftermarket filters can be fine in the right hands, but over-oiling can contaminate sensors and create annoying drivability problems. If you drive gravel roads, construction zones, smoky air, or dusty farm country, inspect more often than the normal schedule. Hold the filter up to the light. If it looks like a shop rag, replace it. Cheap filter, easy job, real protection. Now we get into the ugly stuff. Leaks. Small leaks are not characteristic. They are warnings. Subscribe if you want smarter maintenance without shop scare tactics. We separate real engine protection from useless bottles, hype, and wallet-draining nonsense. Number 9. Fix small leaks before they become engine killers. That little wet spot under the car is not harmless. It is a bill warming up. Oil leaks lower the level, soak belts, soften hoses, and drip onto hot exhaust. Coolant leaks can lead to overheating. Vacuum leaks make engines run lean. Intake leaks cause a rough idle and poor fuel control. Fuel leaks are plain dangerous. Small leaks are the engine whispering before it starts screaming. Look where you park. Smell the engine bay after a drive. Open the hood once a week and look for wet spots, crust, steam stains, oily dirt, and shiny trails down the block. Valve cover leaks are common, but common does not mean harmless. A coolant seep from a water pump, plastic housing, radiator tank, or hose clamp can turn into a roadside failure fast. If oil is getting on the serpentine belt, fix it before that belt slips, shreds, or takes out other parts. Neglect turns rubber, wiring, and bearings into collateral damage. Most people think engine life is only engine oil. Wrong. A bad transmission can make a healthy engine work like a mule. Number 8. Service the transmission. So the engine is not overworked. A slipping transmission makes a good engine look tired. The engine can be healthy, but if the transmission is full of burnt fluid, delayed shifts, heat, and clutch material, the car feels weak, and the engine has to work harder to move the same weight. Do not believe sealed means never service. Sometimes it means the dipstick is gone and the job is more annoying. That does not make the fluid immortal. Automatic fluid carries heat, pressure, friction material, and metal dust. CVT fluid is even more specific, and using the wrong stuff can be costly. If you tow, drive hills, sit in traffic, haul heavy loads, or run high mileage, service the transmission on a reasonable schedule. No, do not flush a dying transmission and expect miracles. But a healthy transmission should get fluid service before it starts slipping. Check the color, smell, shift feel, service history, and any leaks around cooler lines. The engine and transmission are a team. Let one suffer, and the other pays. Now let's talk about the tiny parts that can cook a catalytic converter and beat up an engine. Number 7. Do spark plugs before misfires cook parts. A worn spark plug is cheap. A misfire-damaged converter is not. People ignore plugs because the car still starts. Then they wonder why it idles roughly, burns more fuel, smells rich, flashes a check engine light, and shakes like a washing machine. Spark plugs light the fire. When they get worn, the coil works harder. Combustion gets sloppy. Raw fuel can hit the catalytic converter, and the engine mounts take a beating from the shake. Use the correct plug, the correct gap if required, and the right torque. Do not throw bargain bin coils at a modern engine just because the internet said coils fix everything. Diagnose it. Check plug intervals, coil boots, oil in plug tubes, rough, idle, weak acceleration, fuel smell, and flashing misfire lights. A flashing check engine light means stop driving, not I will check it next week. Misfires can ruin converters fast, and converters are expensive. Ignition maintenance is not glamorous, but it is engine protection. Spark keeps it running. Timing keeps it alive. Ignore timing parts, and the engine may not get a second chance. Number 6. Respect. Timing belts, chains, and tensioners. A timing belt does not negotiate. When it quits, the engine may quit forever. Some engines bend valves when the belt breaks, and then your cheap maintenance delay becomes a cylinder head job. Timing belts age by miles and years, not just how nicely you drove. If your engine has a belt, know the interval and replace the belt, tensioner, idlers, and often the water pump if it is driven by the belt. Do the whole job, not the cheapest slice of it. Timing chains are not a free pass either. Chains can stretch, guides can wear, tensioners can fail, and dirty oil can turn chain systems into noisy, costly trouble. Rattle on startup is not a song, it is a warning. If your engine depends on oil pressure to control chain tension or variable timing, bad oil habits attack that system first. Keep records. Put the date and mileage in writing. Timing parts are boring until they fail. Then they own your wallet. Now we talk about how you drive, because bad habits can kill even a perfectly serviced engine. Number 5. Do not lug the engine. Low RPM with heavy throttle is not gentle. It is punishment. Lugging happens when you ask the engine to pull hard while it is spinning too slowly. Manual drivers do it, climbing hills in too high a gear. Automatic drivers do it when they force economy mode during towing or hills. Turbo engines hate it because boost and low RPM can create heat, knock, and heavy cylinder pressure. Bearings, rods, pistons, mounts, and the transmission all feel that abuse. The engine should pull cleanly, not groan like an old tractor. Downshift before a hill. Use 2 modes when loaded. Let the transmission pick a lower gear if it needs one. Do not chase 1 extra mile per gallon by making the engine struggle. If the car is hunting gears, surging, or vibrating under load, change your driving before something changes your bank balance. Smooth power is better than forced economy. Listen to the machine. It tells you when it is unhappy. Turbo engines need one more habit, and most owners never think about it until the turbo is whining. Number 4. Let turbo engines cool down after hard driving. Turbochargers live in heat that would scare most owners if they could see it. A turbo spins fast, handles exhaust heat, and depends on clean oil for survival. After hard highway pulls, mountain driving, towing, boost-heavy passing, or hot summer traffic, do not hammer the car into a parking spot and shut it off instantly. That heat sits there and cooks. Older turbo setups were especially sensitive, but even modern ones deserve respect. The easy habit is to drive gently for the last few minutes before stopping. Let airflow and oil flow bring temperatures down. If you just pulled a grade, towed a trailer, or ran hard, idle briefly before shutdown. You do not need a ceremony every time you buy milk. Use judgment. Tiny turbo engines can be good, but they are not magic. They need clean oil, correct oil, and heat respect. Ignore those three, and the repair bill will teach you. Now let's kill another myth. Fuel additives are not a replacement for good fuel and good maintenance. Number 3. Use good fuel but skip miracle bottle nonsense. If a $5 bottle could rebuild engines, mechanics would be out of work. Fuel matters, but miracle claims are mostly noise. Use the octane your vehicle requires. If the cap and manual say regular, premium usually will not turn it into a race engine. If the engine requires premium, do not cheap out and feed it regular while pretending knock sensors are magic shields. Buy from busy stations that move fuel, because stale fuel and dirty tanks can cause trouble. Top quality fuel with proper detergent can help keep injectors cleaner, especially on engines that are picky about deposits. But random miracle cleaners poured in every week are not a maintenance plan. Use cleaners only when there is a reason, and use products that match the system. Bad fuel can cause pinging, rough starts, poor power, and dirty injectors. Good fuel supports the engine. It does not replace oil changes, filters, plugs, coolant, or common sense. Fuel helps it burn. Gauges tell you when it is hurting. Ignore gauges, and you are driving blind. Number 2, watch gauges like a mechanic, not a passenger. The dashboard is not a decoration. It is the engine talking. A temperature gauge creeping higher, an oil pressure light, a battery light, a flashing check engine light, a coolant warning, a smoke smell, a sweet smell, or sudden noise is not background information. It is a decision point. Catching problems early saves engines. Ignoring them kills engines. If the temperature climbs, pull over safely and shut it down. Do not try to make it home while the head gasket cooks. If the oil pressure light comes on, shut it down. Do not rev it to see if it goes away. If the check engine light flashes, stop driving because that usually means a damaging misfire. Know what normal looks like on your car. Where does the temperature usually sit? How fast does it warm up? What noises are normal on a cold start? If you never pay attention, you will not notice when something changes. A good driver is part mechanic, part listener. The car is always giving clues. And number 1 is the boring habit nobody wants to do, but it separates long-life engines from driveway junk. If this saves you money, subscribe. We show reliable habits, costly mistakes, and simple checks before neglect turns into engine damage. Number 1. Keep records and inspect the car like you plan to own it forever. The best engine hack is not a tool, it is discipline. Long-life engines are not saved by one trick, one bottle, or one lucky oil change. They are saved by repeated boring habits done before the car breaks down for help. Every fuel stop or two, check the oil level. Every month, check tire pressure, coolant level, leaks, belts, hoses, and strange smells. Every oil change, inspect the air filter, battery, fluid condition, motor mounts, and underbody. Every year, think through the cooling system, plugs, transmission service, brake fluid, drive belts, and anything that is getting old over time, not just mileage. Keep receipts. Write down the mileage. Take photos of repairs. Put parts brands in your notes. That sounds obsessive until you are diagnosing a problem and actually know what was done. Records remove surprises, and engines hate surprises. If you plan to own a car past 250,000 miles, stop treating maintenance like a reaction. Treat it like insurance. Fix small problems before they invite bigger ones. A tiny coolant leak becomes overheating. A weak belt becomes a tow truck. A dirty filter results in poor running. A missed oil check becomes bearings. Here is the routine I want on the wall of your garage. Before a long trip, open the hood when the engine is cold. Check oil, coolant, brake fluid, belts, hoses, battery terminals, and anything wet or crusty. After the trip, look again. That 5-minute habit catches problems while they are still cheap. Once a season, look under the car with a flashlight. If you see oil on the pan, coolant crust near a hose, torn boots, loose shields, or fresh strips, Do not ignore it because the car still runs. Running is not the same as being healthy. Every engine gives early signs. A slightly slower crank, a rougher idle, a sweeter smell, a louder tick, a hotter gauge, or lower fuel economy is the machine raising its hand. Most owners slap the radio louder and keep driving. That is how small trouble becomes expensive trouble. Keep a spare belt if your car is older. Keep the correct oil in the trunk. Keep a tire gauge and a cheap flashlight in the glove box. None of this is glamorous, but neither is waiting for a tow truck on the shoulder while traffic screams past. Also, learn your engine's known weak spots. Every engine has them. Some drink oil, some cracked plastic coolant fittings, some stretch chains when the oil is dirty, some eat spark plugs, some hate cheap sensors. Knowing the pattern lets you inspect before failure, not after. That is the difference between ownership and gambling. I do not care what the salesman said. I care what the dipstick, coolant tank, scan tool, and receipts say. A clean engine bay can be washed. A clean history is harder to fake. When you sell the car, the records also put money back in your pocket because the next smart buyer can see proof. That is how a boring maintenance folder becomes value. Treat the engine like a machine, not a mystery box. Feed it clean oil, clean air, proper coolant, correct fuel, good ignition parts, and patient driving. Stop abuse early. Fix leaks early. Listen early. The engine does not need love letters. It needs consistent, boring discipline. And if that sounds excessive, price an engine replacement. One weekend of checking fluids is nothing compared with a shop estimate that makes your stomach drop. Long-life engines are not lucky. They are protected by owners who catch small issues while the repair is still boring and affordable. That is the whole secret, and it has worked for decades in real garages. This is how a 45-year-old buyer keeps a car past 250,000 miles without gambling his savings. Click the video on your screen next. We'll show the maintenance myths that destroy good cars. Subscribe for reliable advice, smarter ownership, and fewer repair bills.